Good evening, and welcome to our YouTube channel, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I play the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Tom Rayleigh. Before we begin, I'd like to mention that tomorrow at 9 PM Eastern Standard Time, we will begin an epic campaign that should have us busy for the next year. Horror on the Orient Express. Be sure to tune in to all of the madness. Tonight, we are going to continue episode 4 of Mr. Corbitt, and Jeff is going to do the recap. Jeff?
Thanks, Tom. So, our last episode started on a Monday afternoon in late June 1923. Professor Gregory and Sebastian Carter meeting up at the local hospital. They shared information about the death of Corbitt's midwife, Mona Dunlap. The two went on and started to look into another lead related to the mutilated animal story, an orderly who works at the hospital named Randolph Tomaszowski. They confronted Tomaszowski, who was working in the middle of his shift cleaning up. After a series of somewhat unusual questions, they ended up making Tomaszowski feel very uncomfortable. During their questioning, Dr. Gregory and Sebastian see that Tomaszowski has some tattoos and what appear to be of a satanic nature. When our investigators pursue this uncomfortable line of questioning about his tattoos, Tomaszowski panics and runs down the hallway in an attempt to escape. As he's running, he hits a slippery section of the freshly cleaned floor and ends up falling right through the window to a gruesome death. In the confusion of the accident, Sebastian finds Tomaszowski's keys and wallet laying in the grass near the body, which he takes with no one noticing. The police did question Dr. Gregory when where he told them the story that he suspected Tomaszowski of stealing his watch. When he yelled thief, it was Tomaszowski took off running. Dr. Gregory is released without further questions. The scene changes, and we are back visiting with the other investigators who have given up waiting for Dr. Gregory to return home. Lenora Clark meets with the rest of the group and learns of the supposed severed hand incident that Mr. Corbitt was allegedly carrying. Lenora comes up with the idea of looking around Mr. Corbitt's house using the excuse of an unreturned pie plate. Lenora brings former PI Clifford into the party, where they all start to snoop around Mr. Corbitt's property. The innocent snooping turns into a more devious adventure, where they decide to break into Mr. Corbitt's house. They move to the back of the house and attempt to pick the lock on the door to the basement. After several failed attempts, the lockpicks break off in the door lock. They fail to remove a tiny fragment of the lockpick from the door. They move on to the back kitchen door and successfully pick that lock and gain entrance. The group looks around Mr. Corbitt's house and notices a very neat and tidy house. They find a curio cabinet in the front room. They discover a small painting and a book that has come from India. It is of a Hindu background. The book is called I might be pronouncing this wrong, Bhagavad Gita?
Bhagavad Gita.
Thank you.
God bless you.
I learned it's generally referred to as just Gita. So, and is open to a page talking about Vishnu and Prince Arjuna. They also discover what appears to be a ceremonial dagger, commonly called a furba, and is also known as a kila, which has ties to Buddhism, India, and Nepal. About this time, the group realizes that the time is getting late and that Corbitt may return at any moment. They are careful to leave things the way they were and leave the house. Lenora decides to go to the Miskatonic Library to look up information on Hinduism, while Robert and Clifford head to their respective homes. Meanwhile, Sebastian also goes over to the Miskatonic University Library, and Dr. Gregory heads down to the hospital morgue. Dr. Gregory sees the tattoos on Tomaszowski clearly and has confirmed the pentagram design with the Baphomet motif. Gregory then leaves and also heads to the library. Lenora arrives at the library, where both Gregory and Sebastian are already in the occult section, trying to learn more about the tattoos. Robert is at home and notices Mr. Corbitt arrive home right on schedule at 5:15 p.m. and then joins his wife in eating dinner and waiting for a phone call with any new information from Lenora. Francis is headed over to his jazz club to set up for the night entertainment. That brings us up to date.
Okay. I'd like to clarify something for our viewers, and that's that I made a mistake a number of times last week by saying Bastet, which is, of course, the Egyptian cat goddess. I meant to say Baphomet, which is this thing here. I'm pretty sure everybody has seen this once in a while. So that's what his tattoo looks like. All right, so stop presenting that. What are you guys going to do next?
Well,
Gregory is going to wait for the apologies since they broke into Mr. Corbitt's house. Oh, wait. That was my fantasy. Okay.
yeah. well, let's see here. So I have the wallet and the address of the man's house, and I have the keys to his house, as well as I believe we were also going to look up a little bit more on the text from the passage that we found, that Lenore found in Mr. Corbitt's house. I wanted to look up and see if there's anything specifically interesting about that passage in general.
Okay. Let's also bear in mind that it is now approaching 6 o'clock in the evening. Okay. Did you want to see the passage again?
I think I have most of it down, so I'm pretty good. But should we show the audience?
Yeah, we should.
All right, let me pull it up. Hold on
Sure.
just a second.
I'll read it with my lovely singing voice.
A moment. Let's see.
Yes.
Share screen. There we go.
All right. So, as they stood poised for battle, Prince Aryuna hesitated to attack the enemy with his army. Vishnu, in the incarnation of Krishna, encouraged him and motivated by explaining how the universe works with reincarnations, Brahm, Maya, and so on. Prince Aryuna then asked to see Vishnu in his true cosmic form. And in an instant of time, shorter than the beat of a bird's wing, it was all unfolded before his mind. The overwhelmed and humbled Aruna asked, "Tell me, who thou art in such fearsome form? I bow down my soul to thee, O glorious of gods. Be merciful, O prime essence. I wish to understand thee, because I cannot fathom your intentions." With a voice like mountains clashing, the Supreme Lord said, "I am Death, the destroyer of worlds, and today I am out to destroy. What is time to me? Whether or not you go to war is to me irrelevant. All warriors standing array in the opposing army shall soon cease to exist. They've already been destroyed by me. In the moment, you are only an instrument of my will." And now it cuts off because of the heads.
Yeah, that sounds like a sane guy. So, nothing to look at here. No black helicopters or anything. So, carry
Yes.
on.
Yeah. Also, quick question. This may be meta or not. The red highlighted text, is that highlighted by Corbitt, or is that just the way the book was written?
It's just the way the book was written.
Okay, just double checking.
If anything, it's. I kind of thought, like the King James version, it's God talking. So.
Right. That's like the man.
Sure. So is there any way I could look up anything specific about this passage?
What specific are you looking up?
Anything.
Bhagavad Gita is another book that's about that thick. It's like
No, nothing like that. I want to know, is there anything specific? Like, is this passage a popular passage? Like, what is this passage commonly referring to? Like, who would use this passage? Like, what is the whole message of this passage?
Okay, if you were looking,
read it.
So you're going to look for commentaries on the Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah, but also any references, like any way this passage has been referenced other than Hindu religion, perhaps.
Why don't you do a library roll for me?
Okay. My library roll. Oh, sorry. My library roll is 85. Roll in here. 02. Shit.
You do find it is a particularly popular passage from the Bhagavad Gita, and there are a number of interpretations of what it might mean. Basically, what Vishnu is saying here is that he is the god of time and space, and basically, whether somebody lives or dies, it's just a matter of time they're going to die anyway, whether they die in battle or they die here or they die now. It makes no difference to him because entire worlds die, and it's just time itself is kind of like the overlord and master of everything. That's basically what the commentaries talk about.
Actually, while he's doing that, I do want to do a little bit more research on Vishnu as well, to see what type of god he was. Was he like a benevolent god or more of a malevolent type of a god?
Go ahead and do a library roll.
Yeah. So I think Vishnu was very popular in Hindu.
And I got a 35, and my library is 90, so yeah.
Okay. Basically, what you're going to get is a lot of explanation that Hindu religion isn't like Western religion. That the concepts of good and evil, bad and good, it's kind of ambiguous because everyone is everything. Everybody is good and everybody is bad, and evil and goodness are two sides of the same thing. So what Vishnu is he represents birth and death, creation and destruction. He's basically part of like if you were going to equate it to Western philosophy, like the Holy Trinity. He's one of the three. Brahman is the creator, and Shiva and Vishnu. It's just talking about aspects of the natural world. Things are born, things die, things are created, things are destroyed.
He brings life and he takes life.
And there's no good or bad in any of it. It's just the way things are.
He's just a natural cosmic entity.
He's a cosmic force. It is a cosmic force that drives everything.
We lost Richard. Oh dear.
Oops, he'll be back.
Well, clearly Professor Gregory was lost in our speech and is currently sitting motionless on the table.
He found a book on the Kama Sutra, and he's stunned.
Yeah. I see Gregory has found some illicit material, but this
actually, I actually find that book on the Kama Sutra, and I checked that one out.
I suppose it will be interesting reading. Regardless, the passages at hand, I do find. You said Corbitt was reading this. It is a popular passage.
I just said that it was open in front of the picture, and the picture is illustrating that passage.
Yeah. So I mean, I suppose that for whatever reason, I find
it interesting. I do.
It is an interesting passage, and I don't. From what I gather, it's a popular one myself. From what I can see, so I don't see any reason why Corbitt would be why wouldn't he be reading it?
Yeah. He seems like he's a collector of really good books.
I mean,
I don't see. Then again, I don't see why people are thinking that he's so nefarious.
Well, religion aside, this is America. We can believe in whatever you want. Regardless,
as an aside outside the game, it's also the passage that Oppenheimer quoted when he set off the atomic bomb.
Yep.
Yeah, I am.
I'm thinking that. Yeah.
I remember that.
Become death, the destroyer of worlds. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Anyways, regardless, I don't know where to proceed on this. Regardless, I do have that investigation of that man's house I wish to conduct.
How about we go together?
I would like that. I was thinking of doing myself, but clearly I feel that it would be better to do this with friends and allies, as
besides,
safety numbers, as it were. Yeah. I am no pulp hero, I'm afraid. I am not the Shadow. I cannot simply go in and
but your pulp fiction.
Yeah, it's my greatest joy. Well, regardless, I feel, it is 6 o'clock, and I feel, though, the best time to do this would be going at night. I think that I wish to prepare. I want to get us some flashlights. I wish to perhaps acquisition firearm for my protection, as I don't know what's in his house. I don't know who can be still in his house, and Lord knows that I don't know. I could use a firearm to calm my nerves and make me less afraid.
Well, I think we pointed out in the last game that it's not likely that the police will even be going.
Yeah, no. I know, but I think I'm just being paranoid, you know?
Right, okay.
Yes, I'm just trying to play it up as paranoia that, he's, that, and also, he doesn't want to be, I think that I don't want to be spotted. That's the whole line of thing I'm going for.
Okay.
Yes, Gregory, would you be interested in coming with us to explore the Satanist house?
We're all going to go together?
Yes, well...
The more the merrier. Besides, more eyes can see,
You're going to try to be a little covert about it.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going in the middle of the daytime
No.
to change of shift, right?
No. I was thinking perhaps more for the night, so I would advise us to get flashlights. We can take one automobile. Mine is of a dark color. Perhaps that will blend in as well. And just come prepared. And we can go together in the cover of the night and perhaps learn more.
Sure.
All right. So I think I don't know. Is there anything else we should research?
It's currently 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
So
I actually phoned Robert.
I was going to say, do we want to bring everybody else in?
No.
Well, I did agree to letting him know. What I found out here at the library.
Yeah, I think you can tell him about the Vishnu and perhaps anything else we learned, but I don't know if we should be informing him about our foray into the Satanist house. I don't know. It seems, dare I say, a bit risky, and I don't know. I don't wish to cause any alarm to everyone else in the neighborhood.
Well, I think that people should choose for themselves. I mean, besides, with more eyes, investigating his house, the more
True.
We could get in and hopefully get out.
True, but at the same time, I feel that the bigger our group grows, the more we're going to be spotted. 3 is an easy number. 3 is already.
Well, the police aren't even looking at his house, so.
We don't.
Why would they?
Yeah, well,
exactly, so.
Fair enough, but.
They most likely would tomorrow, but.
Yeah. So regardless, I will. Okay, very well. I will move quickly. Bring your flashlights. Meet at my house. I will purchase a fresh flashlight then at the general store before it closes. Then.
Where does he live?
Okay, so I'm trying to understand. Now it's 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
When are they going to meet at your house?
Like we said, around maybe 9, and then we'll probably drive over to his house.
Okay.
And we, try to get there around 10. That
all
sort
right.
of thing.
So what are you all going to do before that?
Well,
I'm getting hungry.
I'm gonna phone Robert, and I'm gonna let him know what we've learned. And despite what Sebastian suggested, I will tell him what we're planning to do as well.
Okay.
Yes. I wish to stop by the store and buy a flashlight, but also buy a more handgun. I bought a shotgun last time, and I want to buy a more compact pistol to carry.
The man's dead. You don't need much.
Okay, let's take a moment. What is Thomas? I mean, what is William Robinson?
Yeah. I assume that the reason why I haven't been a part of this is, I don't know, something happened.
Nuts.
You had to go to another town to visit a sick relative.
Yeah, why not? We'll just say that. So I assume that I'm coming home now. There's still going to be... Richard, I watched the video from last week, and I know that you were disappointed that there was no confrontation between William and Greg.
I know.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
It's going down.
Yeah. So I'm gonna drive home. What do I see when I drive home? It's 6 o'clock now, right? What do I see as I drive home?
Well, you see Robert's light on, and you see a few lights on the block on, but. You don't see any activity because the guys are still at the library.
Okay.
Or they're on their way home, or they're on the way to the store.
Okay.
Whatever.
And I have
Gregory, are you heading home?
I want to know where his address is because
Whose?
the Satanist, because I always thought that maybe it's just the module, but in my mind that he's living in some sort of shared house or something like that. That's my biggest story.
Well,
right
I don't think
now.
I don't think I've told the address. I think I've only said I have that.
That's the reason why I kept asking. Where is it at?
It's somewhere. Don't worry about it. We'll see. We'll go to it at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock.
So,
Sure,
so he wants to be secretive about it. What are you going to do then, Gregory?
He's getting paranoid. Okay, so in the back of my mind, I think since he's getting a gun, I will get a gun, but I'm not going to say anything to anybody.
Where are you going to get a gun?
How many places can I get in this town?
At 6 o'clock, probably nowhere.
I guess I'm out of luck. Or out of time.
Yeah.
So I'm not able to buy a gun at either?
No, but I thought maybe you already had one. If you didn't.
Oh,
then...
that's fine. That's fine. We can just say I had.
I thought you were going to get a flashlight. That's what I thought.
I said flashlight and gun.
Oh.
Regardless, whatever.
Actually, I think in 1920s you had to have a license too to have a gun, so it would be a little more complicated than just going and buying it over the counter.
Maybe. Whatever. I have a shotgun in the car. Whatever.
Can I have a remnant of this current war?
Yeah, you were in the war. You probably have a gun at home.
Okay. Yes. I think I'll have my revolver.
A Webley?
That would make sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to go home and get your gun.
He's going to get a little nervous about it. In fact, he's going to see his new good friend, Lenora, about that and ask her opinion. If he seems a little jumpy.
We're still just leaving the library, so you're with
I
Lenora.
I might get to ask her. I'm
trying to time things, so
okay. I'm going to stop her for 5 minutes and ask her opinion of the interpretations, and I'm going to ask. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask her about her own library as Sebastian carries on, because he's not going to wait.
Okay.
I'll just wait until he's out of earshot and delayed, and he's heading to wherever he's going, and then I'll change quickly about. Are you a little concerned that he did not want to give out the address, the wallet, or the keys, or show any of the contents? He seems a little off now, and this begins to worry me.
How so? I mean, I don't see that he's off. I mean, he's a little quirky with the whole,
Well, what harm was it? What harm was it? And then he didn't bring it up originally. He just seems a little jumpy right now, and it really concerns me.
I mean, the thing here is that he's just witnessed a man commit suicide. I mean, I would be jumpy as well.
I do understand, but why wouldn't you give me the address of where we're going tonight? We're
all meeting up. Why, he knows where he's going. So, I mean, I'm not thinking twice about that.
Wait. I'm sorry. What did you say, Lenora? That he knows where he's going?
Yeah, I mean, we're all going to meet up.
We just met the man, Lenora. Talk some sense.
We just met the man. I've known
and
Sebastian. Are you talking about? I'm confused.
The Satanist.
Why?
He would not give the Satanist address. I thought about passing by to make sure it's not a shotgun house.
You're asking why Sebastian didn't give us the address.
Yeah, didn't it seem kind of funny? He seems kind of paranoid and jumpy to me.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't to you and it makes sense that he's not telling us anything, I'll go with that.
Yeah, I mean, we're all going to meet up and we're all going to go together.
Okay, yeah, you know what? You're absolutely right.
Are you okay?
Oh, absolutely.
You must have been
Everything is fine. No, I just wanted to make sure that my thought of thinking...
When was the last time you went on a holiday, Gregory? When was the last time you went on a holiday?
I haven't had one.
Well, yeah, I kind of see that. I think.
I think what you're right. I think you're right. I think it's seeing somebody die, and I haven't seen anybody die for a few months since the war, and I came back confused.
If I can give you a suggestion, I think that
Sure.
perhaps you can call in, sick for the next few days and just relax.
You know what, Lenora? That is an excellent idea. I think I'll do that. Thank you, my friend.
Yeah.
I'll let Lenora leave, and I'm going to sit in my car and contemplate my next actions.
Quick key of Corey. Welcome to our game. Were you was Corey at the library with all of you?
No, he was at the club.
Oh, that's right. You're at the club. Okay, so you're currently at the club.
Yeah.
And Gregory, you're just gonna sit in your car?
Just until I'm gonna reflect a few quiet moments, and I disagree with her.
Okay.
And so I'm definitely gonna go get my gun, and I'm going to leave a note in my house detailing my thoughts, just in case we don't come back and I'm shot in the back.
Okay.
But Gregory is going to is at a turmoil right now because Lenora did not side with him. So in his mind thinking, should he go by the police just in case and say that if he's missing, to open this letter or drop it off to Officer Bill Hancock, perhaps.
Well, knowing what you're going to probably do isn't enough. I need to know what you're going to do.
I'm not going to do. I'm just going to go home. I'm going to reflect and be quiet.
All right. Okay. Let me go down the line then, so I know. Lenora, where have you gone?
I am heading back home.
You're heading home. Patrick, you're at the store. No. Yeah, you went. Well.
Yeah, like I said, I wanted to buy a handgun, but with the whole gun license thing, I don't know if it works. So.
The store is open, but there's nobody at the gun counter, so you can't buy a gun.
Okay.
But buy a flashlight.
Okay, so buy a flashlight.
You're buying a flashlight.
Could I by chance saw off my shotgun that I bought?
You bought a shotgun?
Yeah, you remember last time I said I was going to buy a gun. You said,
You're going to saw off your shotgun?
Sawed off shotgun.
It's okay, Lenora. He's
All
fine.
Right.
He's fine,
you know
Lenora.
You can saw off your shotgun if you have a hacksaw. You can saw it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that you're at home doing that.
Yes.
Richard, you're at home. Have you just had dinner? Is that what you were doing?
Absolutely.
Okay, so you've had dinner. Tom, William, what are you doing?
Well, I'm assuming I got home, and I'm just now. You know what I'm gonna do? Because I know nothing of what's going on. I'm gonna go straight. Yeah. I'm going to Gregory's house.
Okay, but you don't. You know that his car isn't there at this point.
Yeah.
The hammer has not fallen yet.
So
Yeah,
wait, maybe before you decide that, after Lenore told me what was happening and the plans for later this evening, I can be sort of the central communications. So I already know that Thomas is out of the loop, and so I could call him.
Okay.
Sorry, not Thomas, but William.
Right.
And I could also then phone Francis and get everybody all on the same page if that helps everybody.
So you get William on the phone.
Okay.
And then you're going to call Francis. All right.
Okay. So then if we're doing that, then I just assume I'll just go to Robert's house and just wait until we're all together again.
Okay.
I'm assuming we're...
But to get the sequence, you're at home, though, when Robert calls you.
Yes.
Okay. So this is what happens.
We're all dead.
Gregory.
Don't
you
start
are
off with me first. That's okay.
you're at home.
Yes.
You're at home. did you want to write some sort of a note?
I am sitting in my parlor. My window is open because only God-fearing people keep their windows open. Criminals close the doors.
Okay.
And I'm just scribbling a note to whom it may concern that I'm going to take this venture to an unknown spot.
Let me stop you there.
Okay.
While you are writing the note, okay, you hear steps on your front porch, and there is a knock at your door.
Oh, for gosh sakes! I'm done with my damn stuff. I'm going to look out the window first.
Okay, it's Mr. Corbitt.
Getting flustered and everything. I put the note back in my pocket, and I open my door.
Okay. Good evening, Gregory.
Good evening.
Now, Mr. Corbitt is holding some stuff in his hands. Okay.
Okay.
And he says, the other day, I asked you if you had a working knowledge of botanical chemistry.
Yes.
And you had said that you did. So
please, please, come in, please.
Thank you. So he comes in, and I assume you indicate for him to sit down.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Because
he's talking about the fertilizer.
Right. He says, I think that it's probably advantageous that the two of us are more friends than we are rivals. And he takes this sort of stuff, and it's a number of notebooks, and he says, "This is my research for the past 12 years into fertilizers. I thought that you might be very interested in reading through it. Obviously, towards the end, there is a good deal of advancements that I've made. I have no real interest in competing in any way with you. You're free to employ any of these techniques that you would like to employ."
A tear almost comes to his eye because he has reached Mecca finally. It has come to him. Oh my gosh, he just wants to hug him. They don't have hand fisting back then, but he's just like he wants to say something, and you can tell that he's choked up and he wants to cry, but he's stiff.
Well, he says, so, what's past is past.
I'm sorry for trying to compete with you. You have one of the most, and he looks over his shoulder in his own house, one of the most beautiful flower sets I have ever seen. And I want to just say that I was just a little bit jealous.
Well, thank you. So, are we friends?
Oh, of course we are.
Okay.
As he's looking up from the tomes, he's just going through pages. And, oh yes, yes.
And he's like, so let's call it even, and you tell me what you think of my theories.
Oh, most definitely. I'm going to work on this tonight. Absolutely.
Okay. So he stands up and extends his hand for you to shake.
And I will shake it.
And he says, good evening. And he leaves.
Thank you.
Okay.
I hope this is not like the interview.
What's the interview?
It's a movie where they were supposed to assassinate somebody with a handshake.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it's off kilter.
Yeah.
He's fine. Gregory's gonna be fine.
You look at some of his theories, and
I'm gonna jump to the back. I'm gonna just jump back to the weird stuff that he's.
Well, it's a lot of really serious technical chemistry that is written out in kind of a some people have their own unique style of writing stuff, and you start to notice that your fingertips are tingling.
I'm going to go wash my hands.
And as you're walking to the kitchen, your hand and your arms start to feel kind of sharp. And being a
I'm
medical
having a heart
man,
attack.
being a medical man, the first thing you think of is that you're having angina pains and that you're having a heart
Absolutely.
attack.
Yes.
And then something very strange happens. The room around you, at first you think you're getting dizzy, but the room around you almost flashes off and on. It's one moment black, and it's the next moment it's there, and the next moment it's black, and the next moment it's there. And suddenly you find yourself standing in a desert in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by blazing hot sunlight in very strange colors. When you look up at the sky, there are 3 suns in the sky. One of them is yellow, one of them is red, and the other one is blue. And the play of light makes everything look bizarre. All around you is sand as far as you can see and distant mountains. And suddenly you hear a voice behind you. Well, I'm very sorry, Mr. Hall, Dr. Hall. And as you turn, it's Mr. Corbitt.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, but I'm afraid I couldn't really have you stumbling upon things that basically would ruin everything.
Well,
So,
what do you mean? What are we talking about? I'm having heart pains.
yeah, you'll. It was nice while it lasted, but goodbye. And he's suddenly is gone. Now, off in the distance, what you see is what looks like a dust cloud rolling across the desert.
Mm-hmm.
The kind you would see if there was a car or a vehicle of some sort. And as it runs across the desert, you suddenly notice that it seems at first to have stopped, but now it simply is getting bigger, which means that it's probably heading straight towards you.
Yes.
And you can't see the vehicle, but something is definitely coming towards you very quickly in the desert. And then you can sort of see some sort of movement at the base of the cloud. And then you begin to see something that looks like a giant spider running straight towards you.
This is so strange. Unbelieving of this, he just stands and watches as this creature is coming to him. Well, there's no cover or anything, and he doesn't really feel that he's actually in trouble of anything.
Well, everything around you seems absolutely real. You can feel the heat from the desert.
Of course.
The sand, the dust. The thing gets closer and closer, and now you can see that it's quite clearly some sort of a creature. It's enormous. It's 12 feet, 15 feet high. It's some sort of a giant spider thing. It has multiple legs, and as it gets closer still, there's gigantic fangs and slobbering goo on its face.
Should I just roll for sanity, or should I just start?
Go ahead and roll for sanity.
Should I just start screaming now?
Yes, you have forgotten the face of your father, by the way.
52.
What is it? What did you
52.
roll? Still, 1 to 4 damage.
Okay. Survey says, ooh, 4.
Ooh.
Which would indicate that you are absolutely terrified at this moment.
Yes, this is the time that I scream and run best I can.
You
Which
are
means I'm
screaming
going to
and running,
die
and
tired.
now you can hear the thunder of its feet hitting the ground. You can feel the vibrations even as you're running, and it's very quickly catching up to you. And it does what a lot of predators do. It reaches out a foot and attempts to hook yours. You can try to dodge.
Oh, yeah! What? This is going to help. This is not going to help. This is not going to help me.
It's not going to help.
No.
And
so whenever Gregory finally falls.
The thing trips you and you fall into the dirt and dust. You suddenly feel a crushing leg come down on your arm and pin you to the ground. And you look back, you roll over, sort of look back, and the last thing that you see is your own reflection in the black, dead eyes of this giant spider thing as it plunges its huge fangs into your chest.
Yes.
And
I died gloriously. I did not go insane.
And that's the end of you.
I'm gone. I am gone.
And none of the rest of you know anything about this, okay?
Yes.
Yes.
So, well, that begs a few questions, but we can, we'll find out.
They'll come up.
Yeah.
So there's no confrontation. There's no.
You know what? I didn't live. We should have had the confrontation earlier. Damn it. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay, so 9 o'clock comes. Where were you all going to meet?
My house.
Okay, obviously Gregory doesn't show up.
So, I'm kind of, I have my, newly sawed-off shotgun wrapped around. I have a few shells kind of, wrapped, and I kind of hid it, put it in my glove compartment. And it's there, right? Like, Lenore showed up, right?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
I think you're all showing up, yeah.
Yeah. So, where's Gregory? I thought I assumed he'd be here.
He's probably run off to do something reckless.
You're not there.
Oh,
Wait.
He was actually asking about the location of this guy.
Oh yes. I can tell you. I can tell Gregory because I assumed he would go off on his own.
What probably happened is that he probably went
No,
back to
I fairly knew well, and to be fair, I assumed that if we all go together, it'd be much more safer.
He could have probably found out where the guy lived if he circled back to his job and looked at the guy's file.
I don't normally want to interrupt, but Lenora, recall your last conversation that you had with him, that you suggest that he take it easy for a couple of days.
Yeah, I did tell him that too. I told him that he seemed a little stressed and that perhaps he should call out for the next few days. So he said that, sounded like a good idea. So perhaps that's what he was doing as well.
Well, you have to remember, this is Gregory. I don't think he'd just, cool off. Should we stop by his house before we go?
We could.
I mean, for God.
Last session, wait a few hours.
I mean, if he doesn't come, sorry.
I normally don't want to interrupt, but it seems to me like you guys would be quite happy that Gregory doesn't show up.
We would. I think we would, but I think it's one of those things like, is it better that he's not here and that he's actually doing something worse, or that we can confirm that he's there and not wanting to come, Because then if we
I don't want you to do it just because you know what happened, because
no.
likely you would just be like, rah.
But at the same time, do we really want to end up, do we really want to end up missing him and then he's going to get pissy at us?
Well, we'll just hand him a botanist book or something like that from my private stock, and he'll be happy with that. You know how he is.
Fair enough. All right. Sure. So should we just knock on his door, and if he doesn't answer, should we just head out then?
Well, you lead the way.
All right. Okay, so I kind of, take out, a flashlight, and I kind of, a spare one I bought, because I assumed I bought like one or two. Um, and then I kind of tug in my own, and then basically I start up the car, and I sort of drive over to kind of like Gregory's house,
Okay.
I just kind of get out really quickly, and then I just go to his door and knock, Gregory, you there? Knock, knock.
No answer.
I knock again. Gregory, are you sure you're in there?
Nope, no answer.
Well,
Knocked
he's
again.
not answering, then whatever. Guess he's not going to be there. Oh, very well. Then I kind of go back to my car, close the door, turn off, and basically kind of drive away to the location of the Satanist house.
All right. So you're heading towards the location of Tomaszowski's place. What you pull up to is a 4-story high apartment building.
I see. Well,
What sort of a neighborhood would this be?
Kind of a not a great neighborhood, not a terrible neighborhood, but it's around the corner from the hospital. It's kind of an industrial area, but there are a few other hotels, a little bit run down.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, not hotels, apartment complex.
Yeah.
And you said he was in a 4-story apartment?
Yeah, and now you notice that the key actually has like 403 written on it.
Fourth apartment. So I kind of take the shotgun, take it under my coat, load it, take it in the coat, put a few shells in my pocket, and I'm kind of okay.
The end of June, and you're wearing a coat.
Exactly. What's up with the coat?
it's the. You don't like it?
It's kind of hot out here, though.
So I guess I kind of take it over so I put it over so I'm kind of holding the shotgun. I kind of use my coat to wrap around it. Then better.
Well, I mean, it looks kind of I don't know.
Incredibly conspicuous.
Whatever. Let's go in, and if they ask, we can just say that we're returning his coat back to Mr. Tomaszowski. That he accidentally left it with me, and I found it, and I didn't realize I had to return it.
Okay.
All right. So we kind of.
I said, you lead the way.
All right. So I kind of walk through the front door. Is there like a receptionist or anything?
No, not in an apartment.
Okay.
There's stairs, and there's a kind of rickety-looking elevator.
I do not like. Let's take the stairs, shall we?
Yep.
All right. So we kind of climb up the stairs to the number.
Okay. So you get to 403, and you're gonna go inside. You're gonna open the door.
Yeah, I kind of like telling her.
It unlocks.
Yeah.
It unlocks
Okay.
without any problem. You don't encounter anybody.
Okay. No one.
You know that there are people in the apartment because you can smell cooking.
Okay.
But you don't see anything.
Mm-hmm. So I kind of unlock the door and I kind of open the door. What do I see inside?
Well, Tomaszowski's apartment is really messy. Lots of like Chinese food containers here and there. Some of them with flies around them. You do notice that over in one corner there is a little table with I would call it satanic paraphernalia. In fact, here, let me show you. It's in that same picture that I already showed you, but let's see. They're over there in the corner.
Jeez. Good Lord.
Let's see, there you go.
Why is it that these Satanists always have to be dirty?
I assume it's a natural cause of evil.
You also notice on that same table are a number of little vials.
Looking closer at the vials, like are they blood, chemicals?
Some sort of a liquid, kind of amber in color.
Lenore, you recognize any of this?
I pick one up. I guess there's a cork on the vial. I'll uncork it and take a.
Do you have any particular expertise in?
No, I mean I have chemistry, but that's.
Could I use pulp novels to dictate my skill in pulp novels to see if I?
Chemistry. Okay.
Well, I got chemistry. Oh wait, I'm dead.
It doesn't necessarily smell like anything in particular, though it's got kind of a sweet smell, a floral sort of smell. Perhaps incense, well, not incense, but perhaps
like oil,
essential oil of some sort.
Is it like lying next to, is it lying next to like maybe the altar, or his little altar? Or something like
these are setting on his altar.
Okay, I'll tell Sebastian, I think these are probably ritual oils or something.
Makes sense, I suppose.
I actually have a lot of interest in this sort of thing. Could I do an occult roll?
I didn't know you were with us.
Yeah,
everybody's here.
Yeah. We're all here.
Really? No.
I'm here called. Too. You all went.
All right, fair enough.
Except for Gregory.
All right. I mean, I have a cult as well. Could I do an occult roll as well then?
Well, he said it first, so let him go ahead and do it.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
You might disagree with what he says.
Yeah, no, totally.
That
Again, I'm letting him go.
Just barely succeed.
Okay, well, you know that some people use, oils to anoint themselves, or in various religions. Although you don't know of anything like that really in satanic worship.
Hey, Tom.
Yes.
Could I do a spot hidden?
Sure.
Cool. 43. What's my spot hidden? 55. Cool. All right.
Okay. You start going through his stuff, and you notice that in a top drawer of a bureau, underneath his underwear, there is drug paraphernalia. There are a number of syringes, a number of reefer cigarettes. Reefer madness.
Yes, those are. Well.
All right. Anything else?
Not really. Although one of the syringes does have an amber liquid in it.
Strange.
Okay.
Well, clearly this must be some kind of drug.
Well, let's pocket it away.
Yeah, no. Do we know any? Well, Gregory's a doctor. Perhaps we can take it to him. Maybe he would understand chemistry better than us.
Yeah.
So yes, interesting. But here's, like I said, I want to roll a cult roll on the ritual. The ritual itself to see if I can get a better idea.
Well, you already did.
Yeah. All right.
Nothing
Fair
in
enough.
particular. I mean.
Okay. Just trying to. All right. So let's see. We've looked around. Is there any kind of like desk or bureau or something, or like anything where he keeps more of his personal belongings?
Sure. You want to do a spot hidden as well?
Sure.
I mean, other than that, things seem kind of normal, except that there are some, here and there, there's, satanic sort of looking paraphernalia. There's, in the bureau you find, I can't really say a satanic Bible because that didn't exist until the 60s.
I got 05. I got 05 on my spot hidden.
Okay. You find things that seem to indicate that he was really heavy into devil worship.
Dear diary, I discovered Satan today.
Yeah, there's no diary, but you also find a few other medical things that he probably pilfered from work.
Well, clearly, that's good. Anything like what kind of things, like utensils, stuff?
I don't know, just various things. It's not really important to describe it.
Fair enough.
That he has been taking stuff, and probably for drug use of some sort.
Well,
wait a minute, Tom. There's no blood in this apartment, right? No sign of any.
Well, do another spot hidden for that one.
Okay.
I'll roll one as well.
Yeah.
I'd like to know where you're looking, too. This is a one-bedroom apartment.
Okay. I guess I'll look mainly in the the kitchen and the living room.
Okay, the kitchenette.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm also I'm gonna do a spot hidden and see if I can see anything in the bathroom or.
Corey, you're at work.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Aren't you at work? Actually, did you leave work to come with them?
Yeah, I was saying I was going to call everybody so that everybody.
Oh,
would
okay,
follow.
you called him. So okay,
Yeah.
okay, you're with
Yes.
them. I'm sorry. Say it again, Corey. You're going to do a spot hidden.
In the bathroom.
Okay, in the bathroom.
And I'm doing a spot hidden under like in his bed, like under his mattress, that sort of thing. I'm looking.
Okay.
My spot hidden in the kitchen and the living room, the kitchenette, was a 53.
Is that?
That passed. Yeah, that made it. Barely, but it made it.
The rest of you, except for Corey, you also find some like rubber tubing and stuff. Probably also drug paraphernalia.
I do pass my spot hidden, by the way.
Okay.
Same here.
William, what you find is you find a small jar, and what's in it does look like blood. It's kind of thick and red, very dark.
Is there? Can I open up like a drawer and find like a utensil?
I'm sorry.
Oh, I said, is there a
Yes,
drawer?
there are utensils in the drawer.
Okay, can I grab a utensil and open up the jar and just kind of stick it in there and see if there's anything solid?
Yes, and there's not. It's just blood.
That's,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's blood.
Cliff, you were a police officer, weren't you? Or a private eye?
Clifford's not here tonight.
Oh, sorry. I thought he was. Yeah. Sorry. I thought you were playing Clifford. Tom.
No,
Sorry.
no.
Yeah. Okay. Is that Jesus? Is that human blood?
That's not something you would be able to tell.
I know.
Yeah.
That's why I'm asking as a character. I'm kind of like trying to.
Yeah.
I'm role playing. Damn it.
I kind of shrug in response to that and say, well, it's definitely possible that he could have been the jackal then.
That is true. I mean, but I thought the jackal was taking limbs and body parts as well. Has he been eating them?
There would have been.
I think
There'd be
people were saying
evidence.
they were mutilated animals.
Have we opened a fridge?
Yeah. I think
And that's where he found the blood.
Oh, okay.
He found the blood in the fridge.
Okay. Christ. Well.
Just to make sure, Tom, is it clear to us that he's pretty much living alone?
Yes.
Okay.
But he was afraid. When we talked to him, he was afraid of something. He was afraid of something when I spoke to him, or when me and Gregory spoke to him. There was something that he was afraid of, and he ran away from us. And yet, I know there has to be more.
I would like William, since he's in the kitchenette, to do
Okay.
one more spot hidden.
All right. 17. All right. What do we got?
All right. You are in the kitchenette, and you're just sort of glancing around now. You think you've pretty much... You haven't gone through his cupboards or anything, but, it's probably all just food. And you notice that there's a bowl on the table next to the stove, and there's some lovely vegetables and fruits. Very, very lovely vegetables and fruits.
Do I recognize them? Can I look at them and be like, that seems kind of familiar, the fruit and the sort of arrangement?
Well, it's not the arrangement, but the thing is that in this guy's apartment there's open cans, open things of Chinese food and tin cans with beans that there's still some beans in them. The guy is a mess. And here's these beautiful fruits and vegetables
Why would he?
that look very... You've all got them in your kitchens, sitting there on the counter.
That's
In fact, it's so normal looking that you almost didn't think about it.
So do we all see it now?
Well, if he points it out to you.
Sorry.
I pointed out to everybody. I'm not paranoid that someone's going to shoot me in the back.
Well, that does beg the question of why. Well,
Yeah.
clearly this is a man of junk food, but are these fresh? Like, I kind of look at them. How fresh are they?
They're fresh.
Like, really fresh?
Like really fresh.
I kind of take one,
And there's nothing there. There's nothing there exotic. There's tomatoes and there's apples and there's things that come from a nearby garden. Same things that you have. Probably from the same nearby garden.
Yeah, literally the exact.
Who would give?
I'm actually kind of glad that Gregory isn't here. He would be flipping out.
Yeah, of course. Of course. I mean,
Tom, did you get my email?
I think
Yes, I did.
it may seem like something small, but why would he? Perhaps it was a gift. Perhaps someone gifted to him, but that begs the question of who would want to give this to him. I mean, unless he bought it from the market, but yet these seem fresh.
I guess I'm being too subtle for you.
No,
It's freaking obvious where they came from.
I know, but his characters,
No, it's freaking obvious to your character where they came from. They don't have tomatoes or apples like this in the store.
So, wait, would Mr. Corbitt give this to him?
Let's see if there's any. Did I find anything in his under his mattress or anything like that?
No.
No, nothing like that. Okay.
Well, if why would Mr. Corbitt give a Satanist fruits and vegetables as if he was a neighbor, as he was one of us? That's.
Well, I mean, Mr. Corbitt is a very nice man.
But Satanists, I mean.
Well, I mean, think about this way. This man has worked at this hospital for so long, and you guys just found out that he was a Satanist. He must have been hiding it very well.
Well, that's the thing. That he had tattoos, and he had, and not to say that Mr. Corbitt, but think about Mr. Corbitt. I mean, he very rarely does anything from his routine, or at least from what you've told us, Robert. And it just seems odd to me that all of a sudden.
What if this happened? What if this man went to Mr. Corbitt's place of employment, maybe to buy some sort of antique or whatever? I mean, you look at his altar; he's probably picked something up like that, and perhaps he stumbled across Mr.
But look how he's living. He couldn't afford such a thing, Mr. Corbitt.
I mean,
that is a good point. There's nothing here that looks expensive.
Right.
Yeah, and this man was working at the hospital. He, as if I remember correctly, Gregory said, or at least the nurse said that he said that he was doing a lot of the dirty work, cleaning up after mess surgeries and stuff. And
well, what if he was there when his wife was?
That's why we asked, and when we immediately asked about a case about his wife, he got panicked.
He would have been 11 years old.
Would he? But then
it was 12 years ago.
Okay, fair enough. But yet, why was he so afraid of us asking about such a thing? That's what I don't know.
Hey, Tom.
Yes.
Can I take the syringe that I found with the amber liquid, and can I take a piece of fruit or vegetable or tomato, whatever, and can I stick it and inject it? That's going to sound really weird, but I want to see if something happens.
Yes, you may.
Okay, I do.
Nothing. The fruit becomes sentient.
It's like a Pulp Fiction.
Yes, you've just created eating killer tomatoes.
Nothing happens.
Nothing happens.
We need to analyze. I don't get. Perhaps if we analyze these liquids, I mean, I don't know.
Perhaps we could take him to Gregory. And,
yes.
Find
yes.
out.
But what then? I don't know. I feel like there's something more, something that this man was deeply afraid of that led to his death.
So, I mean, he's a Satanist. Like maybe I don't know. He's a drug user and a Satanist. Perhaps he was hallucinating or something. Who
But
knows?
yet, if Mr. Corbitt gave him this fruit, and I know for a fact that this man, that for whatever reason, that Mr. Corbitt wouldn't just simply give this man some fruit.
Well, we don't know the mind of Mr. Corbitt. Perhaps we can go there and ask him.
I like
And
that idea.
if you're really, really concerned about it,
No.
I mean, I don't know. Like, for the last day or two, you guys have been really on Mr. Corbitt's case, and I mean, we even went into his house, and his house is nice and clean. And
Well, fair. You were the one who went to his house. I've been more than content to leave this man alone. Maybe I'm overthinking. Maybe by some odd circumstance, he was given fruit. Maybe he was. Maybe I saw him die. And I saw him panic and jump out a window, for God's sakes.
But that has nothing to do with the fruit or the vegetables.
I'm just saying I'm under duress.
That's not your pulp stories, that's for sure.
Yes,
just-
I saw a man die.
Perhaps you've been working a little too hard too. When was the last time you were on a holiday?
I don't know. I don't know.
Just,
I've been on holiday for a while. I've been working.
Oh, well, then maybe that's the case. Maybe you need to find some work. You need the opposite of Gregory. Gregory works too hard, and you're not working hard enough, maybe.
Fair enough, but regardless, I think we've taken the initiative to investigate this house. I think maybe we can analyze these chemicals and find out what they are.
I think we need to go to the police. I think we need to stop playing around, and we need to go to the police. And we need to bring them into this.
Well, is there anything here that we can see that directly ties into the Jackal reports?
Well, they have to analyze the blood and make sure it's not human blood, and if it's animal blood, then that might be that might be the evidence we need.
Right. Although we would have to confess to breaking into his house in order to get...
Well,
Yes,
we technically didn't break into his house. We had a key.
Well, I don't think
That's true.
I don't think we should inform. Well, I mean, informing
Speaking of which, I'm getting a little nervous that we're spending so much time in his apartment. Maybe
yes. Let's.
there's nothing else to see here.
Let's quickly leave. I'll lock the door or I'll leave the door open and police, and we can call the police from a different phone.
I'm gonna just go to the police. This is out of our hands at this point. You all are breaking into people's houses, for God's sake.
We didn't break in.
You broke into Corbitt's house.
Well, you weren't there.
Robert told me.
I wasn't there.
Well,
For whatever reason, I don't want to be involved in this mess. Let's just simply call the police and let them deal with the mess. They don't have to. They don't even have to know we were here.
You want to lie to the police.
actually,
Not
actually, wouldn't the police show up tomorrow anyway to... I
of
guess-
course. We can leave the door open and they can unlock it simply.
You don't want to tell them about the things that we've found or seen?
They're going to find it and see it tomorrow anyway.
All right. I put my hands up and I put my hands in my pockets and I shrug. I'm complacent. I won't argue.
All right. Then let us avoid. Let's depart with post haste, shall we?
Okay, where are you going to go?
Back to my car.
We're going back, and we're going to actually
Right.
talk to Gregory, see if he can analyze this liquid.
All right. So you all pile back into
My coupe.
Sebastian's enormous car that holds you all. It's as big as a whale, and it's about to set sail.
Yes.
Um,
Avoid the
and,
seat. I had it washed recently.
And you head over towards Gregory's house. Okay. First thing you do notice, of course, is that Gregory's car is there.
Okay.
Huh. That's odd. I mean,
Are the lights on?
It's not odd that his car is there.
no, it's not odd. But I thought when I knocked, I saw the car, didn't I?
You weren't paying close enough attention
Okay.
to notice.
Well,
And yes, the lights are on.
Literally saw him.
Gregory doesn't lock his doors. He thinks that that's for criminals. And I just walk up and I open the door.
Really? He did say that, didn't he?
Didn't
Yeah, that's canon.
He doesn't. Locking your
All right.
doors is for criminals.
Gregory!
Jeez. Kim commented
Well,
on
I
the
assume you
Facebook
don't just
page.
walk in because you might be doing something.
Kim commented on the Facebook page saying that only one way to find out: inject somebody.
Yeah.
And she volunteers me.
No.
All right. So I assume that you at least knock on his door.
Sure, I knock and I let him know that I'm coming in, but I'm coming.
And
in.
there's no answer. So you're gonna go in.
Yeah, I go in.
All right.
I'm mad at him. I'm gonna yell at him.
We follow behind.
All right. You step into his house, and at first nothing looks out of the ordinary. Then you notice that there are a number of what look like notebooks on the table, and there's one on the ground going towards the kitchen. And that's when you notice Gregory's feet sticking out from the kitchen, and you can do a sanity roll
All
I
of
will
us?
do.
when you realize that he's dead.
Is it
Or
just
that
me
he's
or everybody?
on the ground? All of you, because you're all going to see it.
Okay.
25.
55.
Okay.
42. Pass.
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 Just give me a second here. I might see if I pass or not. I pass.
Okay, so you all pass, but you still have the reaction of, oh my god.
Yeah.
Of course.
Lenore,
Me.
Lenore like covers her eyes and.
Yeah, I rush
leans onto,
over. Like, I'm like,
You see him on the ground, and his eyes are wide open, and he's grabbing his chest like this, and his other hand is like stiff in a claw. It looks like he had a serious heart attack.
I'm gonna phone the police.
Yeah,
See-
I'm
see
gonna
that
phone the
echoes.
police too.
yeah, I'm looking over the body.
Are you all going to phone the police?
Well,
I took out my cell phone.
I'm
Only
kind of
one of you. Yeah, only one of you
Kind
can
of like-
phone the police.
I'll phone the police.
I'm staring at Gregory's body. Can I roll a spot hidden over his body?
Sure.
Just because I'm
Yeah.
panicking, I'm making sure for 54. Pass.
You don't see anything.
Okay.
Hey Tom,
Yes.
I'm gonna
Oh,
go
wait.
over.
You see that he has an envelope in his pocket.
I kind of reach it, and take it out and kind of open it.
Okay. I'm sorry. Somebody else was going to say something.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. Can I go over to the books that are on the table and just pick them up and flip through them?
Yes, you can. So we'll
Okay.
get to that. Well, we'll do that little bit first. When you get over there, you see that they're all Mr. Corbitt's notes.
Okay, I'm gonna furrow my brow and kind of mutter to myself, kind of coincidental that he showed up and he also had a heart attack.
No, that's not what you would think. The first thing you would think is Gregory keeps trying to break into Corbitt's house.
That's true.
and
That's
he probably stole these from Corbitt's.
That's right. That's what I would think. It is what I'd think. Gregory, you bastard.
How
Yeah,
long
so-
have you had these things?
Oh, he got them. That's
What's the note say that I got from his pocket?
The note says, "To whom it may concern, I fear this might be the late time, for I'm about to embark on an adventure with Sebastian, my neighbor, after he found the wallet, keys, and other effects of the deceased. After the strange incident near my workspace with the death of one of the workers, that I have been under a great strain and need a vacation. My other neighbor, Lenora, with Sebastian, plan to go to the former deceased to what they can find. My biggest fear is that Sebastian wants me to go so that he can kill me. he has been acting paranoid, delusional at times, as well as stutters a lot when questioned. If I don't go, I hope that my prior transgressions, words, against Mr. Corbitt haven't broken up the Sunday floral garden party, for I would miss it greatly. I blame Sebastian for my death.
I'm kind of looking at this and like, Gregory. I kind of fold it up.
Now you, of
Words
course,
from beyond.
it's stating the obvious, but there's no way that any of you would think that Sebastian had anything, because he's been with you all this time.
Yeah.
And Gregory was with you alive a little while ago.
Yes.
So.
I will tell the rest of the group that he pulled me aside before we left the library, and he was a little concerned of Sebastian. I told him why. We're all friends here. There's nothing going on here. And
I take it back. There is that moment when Sebastian was off getting flashlights by himself. So
Did he read?
Yes.
Did he read the letter out loud to where we all could hear?
I assume I kind of murmured it a little bit.
I'd say you read it out loud, because you started reading it and then you didn't stop, because stopping would have looked really suspicious.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that it wasn't coherent, because I wanted to write it honestly and quickly as possible without listening to the program and going, ooh, I could add this twist here.
Yeah.
So I just punched it out real quickly, so you knew that it was off the cuff.
We can assume that Gregory is the kind of a person who writes a rough draft, and then a second draft, and then a third draft of everything.
Oh yeah, because that's kind of like what I do.
Yes.
So,
and in this case, you got interrupted.
Yes,
Tom,
which is obvious.
Yes.
So Tom, with this letter, would we kind of all now look at Sebastian and wonder a little bit what's happening?
Well, I mean, only because there was a very short period when he wasn't around you, but
that's just coincidence, and he stutters all the time, perhaps.
Well, I don't know. I just kind of sit there and I'm just like, oh, Gregory did not like Sebastian.
Honestly, what it seems like from the letter, the thing that really stands out is that
Gregory Hill was insane.
Gregory was directly or indirectly responsible for causing Corbitt to jump out the window, and he's been extremely under stress since then, and a heart attack doesn't seem that unlikely.
Yeah.
It wasn't Corbitt, by the way.
It was, Tomaszowski.
Yeah, Tomaszowski.
Although you generally
I'm sorry. Yeah.
You wouldn't write a last will and testament letter expecting a heart attack either. So.
But it's just we saw Gregory. I mean, he didn't seem to be that stressed. And from what he was there with me when he saw the body, and that didn't frighten him at all.
He was stressed.
So
he may have been in shock.
That's the reason why I suggested that he take some time off, but I didn't mean for him to actually take this much time off.
Yes, for whatever.
A permanent vacation.
But I go and I phone the police. Let them know to send out an ambulance.
Yeah.
All right.
Sebastian, where's your gun right now?
It's in my car.
Okay.
All right. So after 10 minutes, a police car pulls up. No sirens. It's not like they did that much back then in a small town. So pulls up, and what was the name of our cop?
Bill
something?
Hancock. That was Bill Hancock or something like that.
Bill Hancock gets out and starts walking up towards the porch. Who does he see? Who's out on the porch, or who does he see first?
I'll be out on the porch. Why not?
Yeah, I'll definitely be on the porch.
Okay. He's like, gentlemen, what you said that Gregory is dead?
I kind of just I nod because I was gonna yell at him, and now I feel bad, so I nod.
And he's like, so he steps inside and goes over. He doesn't touch the body, but I don't even know if did they have car radios back then?
I don't think so.
No, they had
Big
telephone
cities.
boxes.
Yeah.
Big cities did.
That's right. That's
East
right.
is
They had
correct,
telephone
yes.
boxes.
You had to use a key and twist. So did the fire department.
There's
So
always
he says, so what happened? It looks like he had a heart attack. What happened?
We don't know.
you know, we came in. We were all supposed to meet up for dinner this evening. We came in looking for him. He never leaves his door out locked. And so we came in. We found him on the ground like this.
I see.
And we phoned you immediately.
Why don't you guys all? I'm sorry to ask you, but stay here for a bit. Let me go make a call, and
Of course.
we'll get somebody here to take the body.
Is there any whiskey? I need to calm my nerves.
Prohibition.
Is there any
Speak that
lemonade?
off. Could you speak
Is there
that a
any
little bit
is there any
louder?
lemonade? Is there any lemonade?
I offer you my flask.
Hey Tom,
Right in front of the cop.
No, not from the top.
can I wait until the cop leaves and then kind of walk out and then follow behind him as he's heading towards the phone box? I'm gonna be the next Gregory, everybody.
Yeah, there's a phone box right on the end of the block. Let's see where is. Yeah, on the corner of Pook and Lazenby. So it's literally right at the corner of Hall's property.
Okay, so I'm gonna walk up to him as he's approaching the box, and I'm gonna say, Officer Hancock.
And he says just a moment. He says, yeah, we need I don't know, an ambulance. I don't know if they even bothered with an ambulance. There's a body. We need the coroner out here at Hall's property, and yeah, he's dead. All right, maybe send. I don't need. Yeah, no, I don't need any backup. All right. Yeah, what you need?
I'm just gonna then. I don't know how tall he is, but I imagine he's just shorter than me. So I'm gonna look down and I'm gonna say, "Listen, we're not being completely honest with you. The entire neighborhood has become obsessed with this Jackal character running around, and they've been doing some investigating and they've been looking into it, and we just went to the apartment of the latest suspect, Tomowski."
I don't know anything about that.
Well, the thing is that I think that we're getting a little too deep here. Gregory wrote a letter saying that he blames Sebastian, and he fears that he's paranoid, everyone's on edge. We're not Clifford. We're not private investigators. We're not former private investigators. I think that you need to talk to them and tell them that we need to back off of this. That let's let you handle this case.
All right, I think that you're probably a little distraught at the fact of seeing Gregory dead. And about that time, the phone box rings. Okay, and he's like just a second, and he picks up the phone. Yes. Okay. He was. It's like, well, I'll ask. That seems odd. All right. Were you aware that Dr. Hall was at the hospital today and a young man jumped out of a window?
Yes, the letter did say that one of the orderlies at the hospital jumped to his death, and that Hall was there and he saw it, and he was very stressed by this.
Because he was really stressed by it. All right, they want to send out a detective just to talk to some of you.
That's no problem. I'll go let everyone know.
All right. We know where you all live. Why don't you all go home and take it easy? We'll come around to your houses.
All right. I nod.
All right.
All right.
But then we can't get our story straight.
I'm telling them the truth. I don't know about you guys. You're all bad people.
Jeez.
Well, while the police officer is outside making his calls, I will gather up one or two of those books that's lying on the table.
Yeah.
from
Okay.
Corbitt.
Yeah. I go to Lenore. Lenore, do you have any alcohol at your house? And whisper it over.
Sure.
I need a drink.
I have brandy.
Yes. Would you mind if I,
Come on over.
Thank you.
Okay. You do manage to pick up a couple of the books without the policeman noticing. All right. So I assume you're going to go to your respective houses, except Sebastian's going to Lenora's, or do you all want to go to Lenora's, or just because the policeman told you what to do doesn't mean you have to do what the policeman said to do?
Yeah. Screw the police.
Well, you guys do think the police are kind of stupid.
Hey, I told them the truth. You're all bad people. No, I'm going home. I'm gonna do what the cops say.
Yeah.
This is our fault. All right, so to my house. To my house.
All right. Let's see. After a short period of time, maybe half an hour or so, I'm not going to go all the way down the list. Each of you is visited by a detective, Rex Farmer, who he just asks you the same sort of questions. Do you think that... I guess I should kind of go down the list, because you might have different things to say. Let's start with... where would we start? Here's where we are.
With the lawyer.
Yeah, you're all going to jail.
We're actually going to start with Francis.
All right. I'm going to use the washroom really quick.
All right. He asks you. He says, "What can you tell me about the situation with Mr. Hall, with Dr. Hall?"
All I know is that I don't really know a lot, but me and Gregory had a little bit of a rivalry going on. He didn't really, and all I know is that he went to the hospital. Yes, was it yesterday or was it today?
It would have been today.
Okay, I said I went to the hospital. He went to the all he did was he disappeared, and that's all last thing I know about him.
All right. So there's not much to ask you. You weren't really present for all of the things that took place.
No.
Let's see. I'm going to head over to Lenora's house, where I find Lenora and Sebastian drinking. Oh, except that when I arrive there, Sebastian is in the restroom.
Okay.
And then he comes back and puts his headphones on. All right. The detective has just arrived at Lenora's house, and he wants to talk to the two of you. So, what can you tell me about the events that occurred this afternoon at the hospital?
I recall hearing something about a man falling out of a window.
Okay. Did you witness anything, or did you know? Do you know what Hall was doing there?
I don't. I recall something. I think we were at the library, and I don't know. I mean, we were just talking to Mr. Corbitt at the what was it? His warehouse. We were trying to acquire about some goods, and then he didn't show up at that point. And I think that's all.
All right.
Again, I'm sorry. I'm just I'm distraught. I'm sorry.
Lenora, what can you tell me about this evening? Did you when you got to Mr. Hall's Dr. Hall's house, you said that the front door was unlocked?
Yeah, Dr. Hall has this thing about leaving his door unlocked He says
Something about communists.
yeah, he says only criminals lock up because they have something to hide. He used to always be, eccentric like that.
So you felt it was okay to just go inside and see where he was?
We're all neighbors here,
I see. Not unusual.
Yeah, it's nothing unusual.
And what did you find when you walked inside? We walked in and we seen a few books scattered around, and leading up to the kitchen, we found him lying on the ground with his hand clutched over his chest, and it seemed like he had a heart attack, and he was sort of frozen in that. I see.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Yes.
Dead. She's still, her eyes are kind of watery and puffy.
I'm just kind of, just trying to, think and looking away and, just kind of upset.
Okay. He then goes to, he finishes there, he ends up going to Robert's house and asking more or less the same questions. Is there anything you can add to the situation?
So, did we know about William's conversation with the police officer outside, or
no?
Okay. No, I have to say I saw him early this morning. We were supposed to meet, and he never showed up, and that was actually the last time I saw him.
So this morning he didn't show up. Well, we know that he was at the hospital shortly after noon.
Yes.
All right. I'm sorry to bother you. It's probably nothing. So next he heads over to Carter. Sebastian. Oh, he already talked to you.
Yeah.
Last house he goes to is William Robertson. I think it's actually William Snitcho.
Yeah.
Robertson.
Hey.
Right.
I believe in telling the truth, and all you are liars.
Actually, there's something else. Before he went to, before he goes to William's house, he goes to Mr. Corbitt's house.
Wow.
Okay. Because he's on the block. And you all see him go inside for a few minutes, and then you guys are kind of snoopy. After 15 minutes or so, he comes out and then heads over to William's house. Yeah. So, William, once again, I'm not going to go through it all again, but he asks you more or less the same questions. Do you know anything more about what the situation is going on?
Yeah, and I start from the beginning, and I tell them about how this all started, and how Hall was obsessed with the jackal and also obsessed with the fertilizer, and how the neighborhood has been investigating it, and how I believe that Hall managed to break in along with the others and get the books. I don't know how he did it. I don't know where he got them, but he got the books somehow. He stole them.
What books are these? Yes, Mr. Corbitt mentioned that some of his books were missing, and that he'd also, Mr. Hall had tried to break into his greenhouse in the middle of the night.
From what I heard, the Frenchman and him tried to break in, or the Frenchman caught him breaking in, or something, or Hall was over. They were both on the property at the same time. That's all I know. I want to offer full cooperation, but people are now becoming obsessed with the whole Mr. Corbitt thing, and Mr. Corbitt's a nice man. He is, and this all started. This all kind of started when Robert thought he saw an arm in Mr. Corbitt's hand fall to the ground.
Whoa, hold on just a second. What on earth are you talking about? Arm?
Yeah, did you not read the report I filed with Hancock before you came out here?
I don't know about any report.
I called Hancock and let him know that Robert thought he saw an arm. We were all together at a get together. We have them every now and then. Robert was looking out his window, and he happened to see Corbitt coming home. Something fell out of his grasp, hit the floor. You've seen how the door is kind of stubborn. He was trying to get the door open. The arm.
Now this is nothing that you saw. This is hearsay. You're talking about what Mr. Perry saw.
Yes, this is what I feel is the catalyst of this whole thing. Perry thought he saw an arm. Everyone was getting riled up. People were investigating the jackal. I think that's why Hall was at the hospital in the first place. But
now, you guys were investigating the jackal. Why on earth were you doing that?
I guess I don't know about them, but being a corporate lawyer is boring.
I understand.
It's a little exciting, and we also to catch the jackal means to protect ourselves.
All right. Well, all I'm really interested in at this point is Dr. Hall's trying to explain what happened to Dr. Hall, and it seems like it's rather apparent that whether you were all investigating something or that the stress got to him and he probably just had a heart attack.
I feel like the stress of the whole thing got to him. Well, not only that, Detective, but the man was... I feel bad that he's gone, but he was clearly not all there.
I understand. He wasn't alone. Obviously, he wasn't married. I'll check with the hospital and see what more they can give me on the professor. My God, why can't I say Dr. Hall?
Well,
I want to say all sorts of things, but Dr. Hall. Sorry, it's just.
Hey Tom, would I know that Sebastian was also with Hall? Would I know that? Oh wait, yeah, because it was in the letter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I say, well, the person you want to probably talk to is Sebastian. He was with Hall when he saw the guy jump to his death.
He was with him.
Yeah.
You're sure about that?
That the letter said something about how he blamed Sebastian. He thought that Sebastian was going to shoot him in the back. He read it out loud for everyone. Did no one tell you?
What letter? Where is this letter?
I don't know where it is now, but Sebastian read it out loud. It was at the house.
Whoa.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. If there's anything I can do to help.
We'll call you. So, the next thing you see is the detective go back to Mr. Corbitt's house. And once again, he goes inside. He's invited inside, and you don't know what happens. This time, he's only there for maybe 10 minutes. At which point, he leaves, and he starts heading back over to. Actually, he's heading back to Lenora's because he thinks that's where Sebastian is. I assume you're still there.
Yeah, I assume I'm still there.
All right.
He's drunk by now.
So he goes back and he knocks on Lenora's door.
Come in, officer.
Yes, I'm sorry to come back.
It's quite all right. Would you like to something to eat or drink while you're here? I know it's kind of late.
That's okay. I'm fine. Mr. Carter, he says.
Sorry. What can I do for you?
I need to ask you a question. Were you at the hospital when Mr. Dr. Hall had his altercation with Mr. Tomaszowski?
I bumped into him on the way, but I didn't see him with him with the suspect. I mean, like I was driving by and I saw him at the hospital, and I kind of confronted him because he skipped out on us. So I did confront him, but afterward I left.
All right, but you were there at least when
momentarily, yes. I mean, to be fair, he upset me. I think I might have upset him because I apparently with the whole breaking thing. Have you been informed of what he was trying to do?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You know, when he tried to break into Mr. Corbitt's house?
Yes, I'm aware of that.
Yeah, so I might have made a comment and saying he shouldn't have done that, and he got upset at me. And that was probably the reason why he skipped out with us from visiting Mr. Corbitt about the whole investigating memorabilia. And then basically I was driving by and I saw him. I thought, well, I'm going to confront him, right? I mean,
all right. Be available if I need to talk to you again.
Of course.
I'm sorry to have bothered you, and you people enjoy your evening.
Of course.
Is that alcohol? Is that alcohol?
No, it's lemonade.
He doesn't care. I'm just joking. All right.
Okay.
So he leaves, and for all intents and purposes, that's it. He leaves. Mr. Dr. Hall's body is taken out by the coroner and I guess a hearse. I really should know the procedures for what they do in the case of a dead body.
That's pretty much how it is.
They put tarp over him and they take him down to the coroner.
Yeah, and the coroner, they just have orderlies pick them up back then. They weren't even EMTs back then.
Right.
And they just treat him like trash, put him in a trash bag, and put him either in the back of a sedan or the ambulance, no lights, and they just head back to the mortuary.
Probably in this case a hearse.
Well,
there's probably
my
one
body is
ambulance in
lucky
the
this
entire
time.
city. Yeah.
The whole neighborhood mourns Gregory Hall's death.
Yes.
We will mourn in peace, alone.
I am just so happy with this scenario going. We got a note missing, folks missing, break-ins, everybody's pointing fingers. I love this. Everything but Cthulhu.
And I must point out, this is in a neighborhood where nothing ever happens.
Yeah.
All right. So now that evening, let's assume. Well, we can ask, but it's getting late. Everybody probably just goes to bed. And you all have creepy dreams about, stress-related dreams. Next day. Now we're on Wednesday.
Wish it were Thursday.
Tuesday.
Is it Tuesday now? Okay.
Yeah, that all happened on Monday.
That was all on Monday.
Yep.
First day of the week.
All right. So now we're on Tuesday. And what would you all like to be doing today?
I'm going to
Now it's perfectly acceptable for you to say you guys don't do anything. You may have learned your lesson and stop snooping. Go ahead.
I do nothing.
Well, I'm gonna start reading these notebooks from Mr. Corbitt.
Okay.
Or Mr. Corbitt.
Do you have biological
No.
chemistry?
I just have chemistry.
All right. Well, you do have chemistry. Go ahead and do a chemistry roll. Do you can roll for chemistry?
I got a 14, and my chemistry is a 41.
Okay. It all looks like botanical chemistry. It's all has to do with chlorophyll and all sorts of things. It's pretty sophisticated. This didn't come from somebody who didn't have a fairly decent education. And of course, like I mentioned, you all know that he went to the same high school you did, and probably the same. He probably went to Miskatonic as well.
Huh.
But there's nothing unusual about it. It's just organic chemistry. It's phosphates and
Um,
I'm debating on whether or not keeping this or sending it back to Mr. Corbitt. This could be nice in my little library.
yeah. Um, can we say what else we're doing, or are you?
Sure.
Or is there some-
Actually, what I will do is I will return it to Mr. Corbitt. I'll gather the rest of the books too if they haven't been carted away.
Oh.
And
Okay, well, the ones that were left in the apartment, actually, they were probably just left there. I mean, I'm sorry, in the house, in Dr. Hall's house.
All right.
Yeah, I said Dr. Hall.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. From my time, I wanted to actually head over to Lenore's house.
All right.
Okay.
Just to be clear, Lenore has the vial, right?
Yes, she does.
Yes.
Okay, just double checking. So I'm kind of walking past Mr. Corbitt's house. Is Mr. Corbitt home?
This time of the morning, no, he's already left for work.
Alright. So I kind of look over his house and just kind of keep walking, and I go over to Lenore's house.
All right, so you're at Lenore's house, but Lenore's not there. Apparently, Lenore left somewhere. No,
dear.
we'll wait until she gets back.
Yeah.
Anybody else? What does anybody else want to do?
Yeah.
My guess is this time of the morning. Let's see. Francis is probably still in bed.
Yep.
Because he's a late nighter.
Yeah.
Okay, you go over to. We'll go. Sebastian, you go over to Lenore's house.
Yes. Hello, Lenore. How are you?
Doing a little bit better. Actually, reading some of the books that Dr. Hall had.
Anything interesting?
No, it's just a bunch of botanical biology type of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a shame that he had to pass away.
Yeah, it was. It is. I'm gonna return these when when Mr. Corbitt gets back.
Yeah. That's a good idea. Do you still have that vial we recovered?
Yeah, I do. And she goes into her room where she keeps a lot of her, knickknacks, and she brings it back out.
So are you going to attempt to analyze it?
Sure. I kind of look at it,
I mean, I was talking to Lenora, who's got chemistry.
I'm sorry.
I could try.
I mean, I'm kind of like that's kind of what I want to talk about actually. Like, I'm kind of going like, I feel like I don't know. I feel like I couldn't hurt. I mean, this is the only thing we have left of the investigation. Might as well identify it and then just toss it.
Well, you want to see if Gregory had any sort of equipment to analyze it in his house? We can go over there and. Yeah, besides I need to collect the rest of the books as well.
Of course. I'll escort you.
Alright, so we head over to Gregory's house. The late Gregory.
Okay. His doors are locked.
Oh, dear.
Probably by the police.
Okay.
Are any of his windows open?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, so well, he was our neighbor. I hope they won't mind. So I kind of open up the window a little larger and step on through.
All right, you climb through you're now in Gregory's house.
Just kind of go to the door and unlock it. Boop.
All right.
There you go, Lenore.
I enter.
All right.
I know. So, is there anything we can use to analyze this vial?
Well, we'll start looking around in his house.
Aside from an old surgical bag, there's nothing there to analyze chemicals.
Okay.
That's a
It's not
shame.
something that he would have done at home.
Yeah.
He had the facility. He had the hospital as his facility. So.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Well,
I guess.
while I'm here, I'll gather the books. The rest.
Yeah.
Of the
Okay.
books.
We can just simply say to the police that we're simply trying to return these to Mr. Corbitt.
Okay.
So you gathered them up, and but then how should we analyze the vial? I mean, what would we need to analyze it?
We need somebody at the hospital to do so. I don't have any contacts in there though.
Neither do I. That is the trouble. What if we went to Miskatonic?
They should have a science lab there, perhaps. Yeah.
Yeah, we used to work there. Why not? We can do some analyzation.
Okay. So what are you going to do? Are you going to go to Miskatonic first, or are you going to go to Corbitt's first and return?
Well, Corbitt isn't home, so
that's correct. I'm sorry, you are correct.
Yeah. So we'll do that on our way back.
Yeah. So.
All right.
My car or your car?
You can drive.
All right. Let's get my.
All right. So you guys are off to Miskatonic.
Yes.
Other people, what are you up to? William?
I'm not doing anything. You know,
Okay.
I'm gonna stay where I am.
Okay. Francis?
He's just getting up, and he's really tempted to go back and break into Mr. Corbitt's house, but maybe in the next hour he will.
Why is he tempted to do that?
Yeah, like such a nice morning.
Why
I'm
is he
tempted to go break into the house.
The reason why he is tempted to break into the house is because he didn't have the chance to go upstairs, and he hasn't had a chance to go in the basement yet. And he is
You're
really...
still talking about breaking into somebody's house.
Yeah. Just for, like,
I want to break into your house because I haven't seen you upstairs, Dad.
Well, he really thinks that something really weird is going on at Mr. Corbitt's house, so he's really wants to find out what's going on.
We'll get back to that because I can't think of anything weird that's gone on at Mr. Corbitt's house.
No, I mean, just beside the sexual orgies he has every Friday, but that's beside the point.
Sebastian Lenore broke into a dead man's house to return stuff.
Yeah, you're all.
This is normal, so let him do it.
All right.
Not only that, but also remember the vegetables and the late Satanist guys. House.
That's true.
So.
Perry, what are you up to?
Yeah.
I mean, what's your first name? Perry? Robert Perry.
So I'm busting to talk to somebody after being interrogated last night, but I'm not ready to initiate anything, so I'm just kind of staying at home and peeking out the window and hoping I see somebody else up and around.
Okay. Dr. Hall, what are you doing? Oh, we know what you're doing.
That's right. I'm looking at the slab.
Yes.
Yeah,
Rotting.
I knew what was coming up. I knew what was coming up when it was coming. When you were asking for a timeline in that handshake, and I blame Sebastian. Damn you, Sebastian.
Yes, because I clearly am the bane of your existence.
All right, so let's jump over to. We're getting close. Lenore and Sebastian.
University days brings back some good times.
So
I got beat up over there.
All right.
And there.
I assume
over
you
there.
go to the chemistry department.
Yeah.
Yes.
Professor Neil Turner.
All right.
And he's in his lab.
I can knock on the side of the door. I can knock on there. Professor?
Yes. Can I help you?
Yes. I'm Sebastian Carter. I used to work here as a librarian. Maybe we've met.
Not that I recall, but okay.
It's all right. Me and my lovely companion here have recently come across a strange vial chemical that we wanted to get analyzed, and again, we figured that perhaps you would be able to analyze it for us.
Well, let me take a look at it.
Of course. Here you go. Lenore, would you be willing, please?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Happy to.
So he takes a look at it, and he gets out his Bunsen burner and his microscope and his reagents, and it takes him 45 minutes. And oddly, the reason why he suddenly becomes interested is he just seems to be a very curious individual. And the more he looks into it, the more interested he sort of becomes in it. What he can tell you is this. It's organic. It's almost 100% that he can tell plant-derived.
Wow.
That it probably has, without actually testing it on a subject, it probably has narcotic properties. But there are a number of compounds that baffle him. He can't seem to pin down exactly what they are or where they would have come from. There's actually a couple of components of it that he's insane with curiosity, but he doesn't seem to be able to find any answer to.
That's odd. You know, I'm assuming he's talking to us, so I kind of comment.
Right, and he says, you know, there have been a number of chemists who've worked with hallucinogenic drugs, and they use some pretty exotic materials. I just don't have anything that can identify them.
Yeah, I mean, have you encountered anything like this before, though? I mean, as a scientist in chemistry.
Well, I mean, I've analyzed all kinds of things. Nothing in particular like this. Nothing similar to this.
I see. Nothing even close?
Not really.
I see. Oh, that's a shame.
I mean, I did a study of THC at one point, and that had definite narcotic properties to it, and but this seems far more exotic. It's nothing that I've ever seen before.
Could you tell what type of plant it derived from?
That would take quite a bit of analysis to work on, but I know that some of these are alkaloids. You might find them in plants like foxglove, deadly nightshade.
Good Lord.
Quite honestly, potatoes. You'd find them in the potato plant.
The
Irish are very dangerous to eat.
I see. But yet the Irish are able to eat them in mass capacity without dying.
Well, if they're not exposed to sunlight, the alkaloid doesn't manifest itself. But tomato plants and potato plants are actually quite poisonous. The fruit and the root is not. It's the leaves that are dangerous.
I never knew that.
This is actually fairly common knowledge. That's why you're not supposed to eat green potatoes or green tomatoes.
I see.
Even though people eat green tomatoes.
Well,
small doses of the poison is not enough to hurt you, but if you were to eat a whole bowl full of green tomatoes, you'd probably be in trouble.
Makes sense. Well, thank you for the nutritional information. Always.
Would you mind if I kept a sample of this? I would like to continue to.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. But would you mind keeping us up to date, as we are very curious and we would like to, keep it on a download for any, personal.
Well, it's not going to be any time soon because I do have work to do. But yes,
I understand.
I'll definitely keep you informed.
Of course. As we both are curious. Of course.
All right.
Tell us first, shall we?
You got it.
All right. Thank you. I kind of leave my information on a card. And basically, Lenore, do you want to give your number too, in case you can't contact me?
That's fine.
All right, very good.
You give them your information. Well, it's not much of a cliffhanger, but I think that we're there. It's 2 minutes till 11.
All right.
Anybody want to say any last words, or?
Yes.
Perhaps Dr. Hall has a few last words.
The dying words.
Oh my gosh. This has become such a can of worms. It's just too
quite honestly
funny.
I didn't expect it to go in this direction.
It's got books that are not supposed to be there. We've got notes that the detective still knows that's missing. We've got so many things that the detective should answer next week. And I would like to hear his line of questioning and why Why did you say that you were there just driving by when the nurses saw you in the hall talking, oh, Sebastian, this is going to be very interesting, to say the least. You took the books. There's a note missing because a lawyer, a good upstanding citizen like Greg, has pointed it out to several people. Sebastian, I hope you got a good 5 to 7 days to figure out a good alibi.
Fair enough.
Well, there's always a lawyer. There's always a lawyer down your street.
Absolutely.
That's true.
I think you better start talking to him. And I really want to hear the exploits of Corey trying to get back into Mr. Corbitt's house.
Yeah.
All right, investigators, thank you for your participation, and thanks to all of our viewers for watching. We hope you enjoyed our game session. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and if you'd like to join us as either a player or a GM in an upcoming game, feel free to contact me via email. Please tune in next Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the next episode of Mr. Corbitt. And tune in tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the first episode of Horror on the Orient Express. Until next time, always remember, if there's no light left to guide your path, your only choice is to venture into the darkness. Good night.